Today we've been invited to the launch of the 11th edition of the useful and highly acclaimed guide, At Home in Holland. At Home in Holland allows expats to settle in faster and more smoothly and start enjoying their time in the Netherlands as soon as possible. We'll be talking to the people behind the book, and I'll also be asking the Mayor of The Hague about his opinion of this initiative. I'm Paul Brown. This is West International. Freedom of religion and religious beliefs are a fundamental right in the Netherlands. People are free to worship as they choose, either individually or in groups, and The Hague boasts over 200 congregations of various faiths, so it seems there's something for everyone. Find out more about this in our service item. In this episode, we'll ask our expats in the Vox Pops about Dutch history. Cecile is in Delft on another one of her selling offs, but first, let's go over to Nicola, who's about to enjoy the culinary delights of the Chinese cuisine.
Today, June Go has invited me for lunch at her home in Wassenaar. June is from Malaysia and moved to the Netherlands 3.5 years ago. She lives here with her husband and 2 of her 3 sons. Her other son is studying in the States. Now, word has it that June is a bit of a whiz in the kitchen, so I reckon we're going to pick up some fantastic Chinese cooking tips today. So let's go and see. So June, what's on the menu today?
Oh, today we have steamed fish and egg drop soup with crab meat.
Oh, that sounds very good. And you're going to teach me how to cook that?
Yes, definitely.
Brave woman. And I see you're not alone.
Yeah, these are my friends. And they often cook together with me.
Okay, so they only come when there's something good on the menu?
Yes.
Fair weather friends.
Yeah.
Should we go into the kitchen and get cracking?
Yes.
Okay. So June, how was the settling in process? Did you settle in quickly?
Well, Netherlands actually, it's a perfect place for the Asians, because we do get supermarkets that have everything. I like cooking, so a lot of things we do actually get it from the Asian supermarket here.
June, what did you do to settle in? Not just you, but also to help your family settle in here.
Oh, the American school. They have a wonderful networking. It's called Monday networking. So you get together and you talk about things new to the people, like food, shopping. So they actually introduce you to Holland very quickly.
Did they provide Dutch courses as well?
They do, yeah. But
Did you follow Dutch courses yourself?
Yes. I took Dutch for 6 months, but I couldn't actually cop up the right kind of accent to it. So,
but you do speak some Dutch then?
Well, dank u wel.
That's a good start.
Alsjeblieft. Goedemorgen, that's about it, if I can call it Dutch.
What are the most striking differences between the Netherlands and, say, Malaysia?
Holland, it's so quiet. Yeah, you don't have noises. It's a city, but it's like you don't hear, you get, other than the weather, you get really nice greens around here and fresh air. I even heard somebody said that the water is so fresh here.
Can't you drink the tap water in Malaysia?
No, I wouldn't recommend that. And there's a lot of chlorine in there.
What do you miss the most from Malaysia?
Food.
The food?
The food. I come from Penang, and New York Times recently put Penang as the 44 places that you should visit. So Penang has great food, great fun. It's an island, so you should go and check it out.
Oh, I will. Are you inviting me?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, fantastic.
This is very hot. Be careful.
I'm watching. So June, is presentation or how things look, is that important in Chinese cooking?
Yes, it's very important for Chinese to have red. So we add the pepper, and this beautiful thing that goes round and wrap it up. It's round, so it's yuan. So it means abundance, prosperity, this kind of
thing. Okay, so everything has like meaning.
Exactly. Okay.
Before we start eating, are there any traditions I should be aware of before, during, after dinner?
Yeah, remember you wanted to sit over here
Oh,
at the
that's right.
corner?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sitting at the corner in China or in Malaysia is bad luck.
Yeah, for Chinese.
For the Chinese.
Anywhere in the world.
How do you say cheers?
Yam sing!
Yum sing.
Yam sing!
So if you would like to try some of these fantastic Chinese recipes, please visit our website where you'll find all the recipes. All that remains to say is see you next week. Don't know where, don't know when, but sure it'll be good. Tai Chi!
A little about the war and the resistance and that type of thing.
Well, I know that the Pilgrims came from Leiden, the original ones that landed on Plymouth Rock.
I mean, their role in the world, Hanseatic League, you know, founders of trade.
Being a business person, I had never recognized how important the Netherlands were in developing really this trading culture. And that is kind of one thing I hold Holland in special regard for.
The golden century, 17th century, that comes to mind immediately because that's when the Dutch were so important worldwide.
A very important country in the creation of international law, human rights.
And of course, being an artist, no one is greater than to Rembrandt, and of course, my most favorite is Van Gogh.
In the Netherlands, church and state are separate. The government does not interfere with the internal affairs of organisations that profess religious or philosophical beliefs. Whatever your religion, you'll be free to practice as you choose. Hague counts more than 200 church congregations in its midst, including English, American, German, Hungarian, Japanese and so on. In addition, the city has more than half a dozen mosques and 3 synagogues. One church that is quite popular amongst all different nationalities is the International Church of The Hague.
Yeah, this is an international Roman Catholic parish with about 70 different nationalities and 50 different groups. We gather here in the weekend in this church with 800 to 900 people over 2 celebrations. And during the week there are plenty of activities as well on another location that try to bring the international community together as a family that they have here in The Hague whilst they are far away from home.
The Church of Our Saviour is the English-speaking International Roman Catholic Church of The Hague. Although the language is English, the church is also very popular with the local Dutch community.
This is the largest international church in The Hague. It is truly intercontinental. That means that a Japanese person can sit at the same table with a Nigerian, or sometimes people from countries that are actually in war with each other. But here their faith and their sense of belonging is more important than their differences. And yeah, that for me is the quality of a faith community that puts into practice what they believe.
The international community is strong and authentic and brings people together to share victory, joy, but also sadness.
If anything happens in the world, it affects this community. Whether there is a tsunami or a struggle of conflicting parties in Sri Lanka, a bomb in Madrid, there will be compatriots immediately here in this community that would like to grieve and mourn and express solidarity, organize activities as well. And that, especially when you live abroad, is extremely important that you have a place where your story is recognized. So that is certainly one aspect of a universal church, like the Catholic Church, that yeah, if something happens to one of our brothers or sisters, the whole community is affected. And yeah, we try to experience that here in this church that has been called the United Nations at prayer by one of the people from the UN in New York who came to visit, and it was yeah, a great compliment for him to say so.
The Hague is often called the city of peace and justice. This is also strongly represented in the International Church. They keep close contact with the tribunals and other institutions to raise awareness for the Millennium Goals.
We now have a European English-speaking Catholic network for the main European capitals, and once a year we come together to discuss what we have done on the Millennium Goals and how we are going to program the next topic. And yeah, when you look at cities like Madrid, Geneva, Brussels, Vienna, it's the same vibrant expat community there, and the impact of all these thousands of people together on yeah, spreading the ideas and the visions of the United Nations through their faith, through the church, is faith and action put together. So we believe in ora et labora. The two have to be in balance, because if you only pray and you don't work to make it happen, then you may well ask what the positive contribution of your prayer to the world is. So we may hope to make that link.
Is it William of Orange?
Could be William of Orange. What's Shakespeare?
He was the first prince of the Orange family, the Orange line.
And he thought he was a great fighter, he battled, he did a lot of stuff to help democracy and freedom.
I know he was murdered, and I cannot remember his name.
Yeah, is that Pim Fortuyn?
Pim Fortuyn, who was assassinated in, I think, 2002. And he was actually very high up in the polls at that point, going into the next election.
And his greatest line, and I use that line too, for the AWC, at your service.
That I have to know. That's Anna.
Who actually moved from Frankfurt to Amsterdam and unfortunately was killed in this country.
Well, she wrote a diary about her time when she was in hiding in Amsterdam, and very, very sadly, they were reported at the very end of the war, and they were on the last shipment to Auschwitz.
For about 2 years, she kept a diary.
She's inspired many people.
The city of Delft is often said by many to have something for everyone all year round. It is the city of the world-famous Delft Blue, William of Orange and Johannes Vermeer. Its beautiful shops, canals and museums are certainly something you'd miss if you left the country.
So Adele, I hear that you're leaving the Netherlands.
We are.
And where are you heading to?
We're going to Saudi Arabia, to a very small fishing village that's being developed into a university north of Jeddah. Saudi Arabia. Desert, dry.
Very different from here.
Extremely different from here.
And so speaking of the Netherlands, what did you love most about your time here?
How easy it is to go from this house to any restaurant we want, and shopping, using transportation, and then you can just stand here and look out there. One of the things we're going to absolutely miss, I mean, we're going to the desert.
Yeah.
You know, look at this view. The beautiful trees, the canal, the boats that go back and forth on it. And the cats that we have are going to miss the birds in the trees when spring and summer are around. But being in the center of Delft has been an absolute delight.
Well, what are you going to be selling off today for the selling off item?
Can I sell everything? Well, I mean, everything is for sale, so you can pretty well take your pick. Well, this recliner, it's Danish furniture. That was my husband's until he and I got together. And I don't like it. And it's the last piece of his fully furnished house that he had before we got together. And it's available.
And how much are you selling it for?
The two pieces, the stool and the recliner that goes back almost flat, if you want to go ahead and try it, is only 55 euros.
That's an awesome deal. So Adele, what are you going to take with you to Saudi Arabia to remind you of your great time here in the Netherlands?
I have the perfect thing. Let's go in the kitchen.
Okay.
That's the plate we're going to take with us. That Dutch plate will always remind us of Delft and the Netherlands. And I've had that for 15, 20 years, so even before I came here. So it must be destiny that we moved here.
Yeah,
and now we're moving away.
Aww.
Yeah.
And what do you like the least and what you smash into pieces?
Lack of friendliness in restaurants. Absolutely no face recognition whatsoever.
Want to smash it?
Absolutely. Give it to me.
And what about the unfriendliness at the restaurants did you really not like?
I don't like the fact that after 4 years of going to the same restaurants, they don't recognize us. They don't give us the friendly smile. They don't give us the handshake. There's not the warm and friendly environment that we got after only 1 year in Berlin.
So you want to smash it?
I want to take them out.
And what are you going to smash to represent this?
Well, I thought a salt and pepper shaker might be a good symbol of restaurant unfriendliness. Down with unfriendliness! Ready? Go!
So was that fun, Adele?
It was great. Thanks for the opportunity.
And thanks for having us. We wish you all the best in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
So this was Adele selling. We'll see you next time. I have to keep Delft clean and put this in the glasbak.
Well, that's easy. Curacao and the Dutch Antilles.
The Dutch Antilles?
The Pacific area, Caribbean.
Curacao, Aruba.
I was going to say Bonaire, but I'm not for sure.
Saint Eustacia, Suriname.
The Antilles, Curacao, Aruba, those islands.
In Indonesia? No, belong to Suriname.
Well, in the Caribbean, because Dutch were everywhere, from Indonesia to Australia to Central America, and Aruba and Curacao are still part of the kingdom.
Aruba? No, it's not Aruba. The Dutch Antilles. That's embarrassing because I was a travel agent.
So, it's time for the launch of the 11th edition of the book, At Home in Holland. The launch had attracted an influential gathering including mayors and ambassadors. And earlier, I managed to speak with a few of the people behind this latest edition. So, Teresa and Kay, welcome. Thanks very much for your time. Let me ask first of all, At Home in Holland, the brand new 11th edition out today. What is the significance of such a publication as this for the expat community?
Well, I think it's absolutely essential guide when you first arrive here. I think for a lot of people, Holland is their first move abroad, and you're already lost in any international move. It'll help any newcomer with anything from, as Kay says, transportation, having a baby, buying a house, how to shop at Albert Heijn, cooking. There's just a wealth of information there. And I found, I've lived here for 10 years now, and I started picking up the book and editing it and finding new things myself.
Knowledge is power, so when you get somewhere new, the more you can take in, the more comfortable you're going to be sooner with your new home.
So, Teresa, how would you describe the character of the book?
It's not meant to be funny or too chatty. It's meant to be quite practical, but overall enthusiastic and positive. And I think you'll see in the beginning of every chapter we try to mention that, yes, these things can be hard, you're going to be frustrated, you will cry, that's fine, but look at the positive side of it.
You have to be somewhat flexible and easygoing whenever you move abroad, no matter what country you're going to. And so I think it's written with that, soft touch and I know what you're going through kind of attitude. So I wouldn't, it's not a heavy read at all.
What I think is really great about this book, and we've mentioned it earlier, is that it's written by expats, volunteer expats for expats, which makes it a very unique book. We've all gone through these things, and we have this kind of need or desire to help the next group of people coming in to make them feel happier here. We've decided to stay. We like it here. We have our specific reasons, and we want the newcomers to like it too.
Certainly worth mentioning is the painting that was chosen to be the book cover. It was donated by the American John Proctor, who's an expat himself living and working in Holland. The painting was auctioned for charity and fetched the impressive
2,800 sold.
It's an expensive afternoon for you. If you had one tip for the viewers out there, each of you, what would that tip be about life in Holland and how to make it easier for you?
Get a good bike lock.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
Don't eat the frikandel. You don't know what's in there.
Keep safe hold of your bike and be careful what you eat.
Yeah.
Excellent. Ladies, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, here's the first copy of this book, At Home in Holland.
The newly arrived ambassador to Guatemala was presented the first copy of the practical guide by Mayor Van Aertsen.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor. What do you think of this initiative?
Oh, it's a very important initiative. Just to know how to get around here in The Hague. Information about everything, about healthcare, of course, cultural events, but also about food, about stamppot and poffertjes as well.
Absolutely. And about on the subject of culture, do you feel that there's enough cultural things going on in The Hague?
We have a lot of things. Beautiful music, very modern jazz as well during the summer. The Hague Festival, well, English playwrights, we have everything.
Absolutely, perfect. On that note, let's head off to the cultural agenda for this week. The Wall Street Shuffle, I'm Not in Love, and of course, Dreadlock Holiday. These are just a few of the many entries in the impressive pop CV of the legendary band 10cc. The band has been touring again since 2006, and this year's tour fortunately includes the Netherlands. Once and for all, we're going to tell you who we are, so shut up and listen, is a play that can be only performed by teenagers. It shows 13 youngsters who are rebellious and behave aggressively on one hand, but also feel vulnerable and play like children on the other, and sometimes are surprisingly adult. Imprepara is an improvised opera modelled by the audience's indication. A group of British comedians, opera singers and musicians create a surprising new musical performance. Without score, without script, without safety net, but with the aid of spectators, Imprepara is an irresistible funny phenomena from England. Now in the Netherlands for the first time. Bicos do Brasil, translated Animals from Brazil, is a fantastic show for children and their parents. A swinging, humorous theatre spectacle told over a rich intensity of beautiful Brazilian plant life and fauna. The untamable Brazilian animals such as tigers, apes, snakes and birds of paradise are all played by dolls, actors and dancers. To find out about these and other items on our agenda, visit our website, www.westinternational.nl. Well, that's almost it for this week's show. You know, even though I've lived in this country for a number of years now, I've learned a lot today about Dutch history, and I have a feeling I'll pick up a few extra tips from the book At Home in Holland. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on West International. Don't forget, you are what you watch.